Hey guys, it's Ella, and here we are. It's finally time for the 500 subscriber Q&A. Even though we're now at time of recording, 666, which, firstly, crazy, secondly, spooky, and right before Halloween. Very fitting. I'm proud of you. So, the questions. I know some of you asked more than one question, but they probably won't be all together. I put the questions into categories, starting with some just quick, easy facts about me that you asked about, some more opiniony stuff and favourites, and then we'll end with all the questions about the process of making these and finding fics and all of that stuff. So let's jump right in. Firstly, how old are you? I'm 24 years old. What's your zodiac sign? I'm a Capricorn. Are you going to do a face reveal? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't have plans to. I never really planned to put my face on the internet in association with this. I just doing this for fun. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see what happens. What's your favourite colour? It's pink. I love pink, particularly baby pinks and pastel pinks. Do you know your Hogwarts house? If so, what is it? Okay, this is more complicated than it should be. But basically, the long and short of it is, I spent years telling everyone that I was in Hufflepuff because I thought I was in Hufflepuff. So long. And so they kept buying me things with Hufflepuff on it because I said I was in Hufflepuff. But in reality, I know now that I'm definitely a Ravenclaw. But it feels like it's too late to change my mind now and just be sorry for all the nice things that you bought me that have Hufflepuff on it. I'm not a Hufflepuff. Are you having a good day? You know, it's been a long day. It's almost 11 p.m. now, and I haven't even had dinner yet. Instead, I'm making this, which I'm sure you're used to me uploading at least what is UK time. It's 1 in the morning. No wonder someone thought I was from America. I'm not. I'm just an insomniac. Okay, now, time for opinions and favourite things. What is your favourite anime? I'm not sure if you can tell, but it is my hero. I am hyperfixating on it very hard right now, and it is my special interest, and I could go into heavy detail, and I will go into heavy detail. But apart from that, probably Yuri on Ice is my most rewatched one, start to finish. I will regularly just sit and watch the whole thing in a day, because I think it's perfect. There's literally nothing wrong with it. Who is your favourite Animal Crossing villager? It's Marshall Fauna. Who's your favourite character of any movie? Midoriya. It's Midoriya. I love him. I kin him really hard. He's my favourite of anything. I will die with the headcanon that Midoriya is autistic. Is that because I kin him and I'm autistic? Maybe. But I believe it, so I'll take that headcanon to the grave. What's your favourite fanfic? Okay, so I'm going to give you two. They're both podfics, specifically, and I will link them below. Firstly, probably my favourite podfic, maybe of all time, is the one of Yesterday Upon the Stair by Pit Viper of Doom that's done by Gemini Wishes. Seriously, stop watching this now, go into the links and listen to it. It's not completed yet, but I have listened to the whole thing that is up there about 5 times already, which is a lot because it's very long. Be ready to commit for the long haul. It's a long one, and it's so good. It's aspirational. It is one of the biggest inspirations for why I even made this channel, was me listening to that and going, one day I want to make a fic as good as this. One day I want to read something that will make someone else feel the way I feel reading this. So please do it. It's great. Secondly, listen to the Podfic version of Complicated Creation, written by Elemental and read by The Gay Divorcee. It will also be linked below. Run, don't walk to listen to this. I have listened to it. I don't even want to tell you how many times I've listened to it. You can just sit through and listen to it in a day, and I have many times, and it's amazing. But thank me later. Following that, I did get asked specifically about my favourite Peter and Tony fic, which I will give you one that isn't a podfic currently, which is To Bind and Protect on AO3. It's by No, It's Night Monkey. It will also be linked down below. I will say, don't read it if you want to read Tony being a good dad. This fic broke me. I cried multiple times. It was one of the first fics that I read. There's 2 Peter Tony fics that I read in the start of getting onto AO3 and made me make an AO3 account, and one of them is this one, and one of them I am making a podfic of, and the first chapter is recorded, so no spoilers about that one, but you'll see it soon. It is also very angsty and also very long, but Tony is a great dad in it, so... Which does segue nicely into the next question, which was, do you like angst? I love angst. I love it. I want to cry. I love feeling really sad at fics. I do read some angsty fics. I have been reading a lot of fluff, but don't worry. The angst is coming, just like Halloween is coming, and the spooky season's coming. Some of them will be fluffy, some of them will be angsty. I hope you're ready for trick-or-treating, hauntings, and a lot of villain deku. And maybe even some fandoms that I haven't read anything for yet. What is your favourite Marvel ship? I actually have never really been so much into the shipping side of Marvel, but y'all have sold me on WandaNet and Iron Strange, so congratulations. Do you have any pets, and what kind? I don't, and it's a very touchy subject. I once had a snail, his name was Gary, that I found in the garden, but my mom really hated animals. Or she doesn't hate animals, she just doesn't like pets, so she never let us have one as a kid, and nowhere I've lived since I moved out allows pets. So not yet, but one day. We almost got a kitten this year, and we didn't, and I had a total breakdown about it, because we'd named it, and I got emotionally invested. It was bad. What's your favourite book or book series? Now, isn't this a question? I could talk about books for approximately 75 years. I love books. If I ever made a different channel, another channel, it would be to talk about books. I would be a booktuber because I love talking about books. I read so many books. Currently, my goal for the year on my Goodreads is to read 250 books this year. Fanfic has kind of taken over that and ruined my numbers, but I am still on track. I was really, really far ahead. I generally, at the beginning of this year, I was reading like a book a day. I do just kind of consume books. My favourites are anything by Alice Oseman. I love the Heartstopper series, and I also love the Simon Snow Carry On series. And I'm still a big fan of the Shadowhunters Mortal Instruments series. I met Cassandra Clare once, and she's really, really nice. But yeah, feel free to talk books with me whenever, because I can talk about them for days on days on days. In that vein, someone asked, what type of stories do you like to read? I read a lot of YA, and I really like thrillers and murder mysteries, but I will read a little bit of everything, really. I like angst, I like romance. It depends what I get in the mood for. I usually get in the mood for a certain genre and just read loads like that, and then I will move on to a different genre. So next I got some questions about music and what music I listen to. The answer is a lot. I used to be a music student, so I had a very varied taste. So to give you a little taster, according to YouTube Music, my most listened to artists are Leanna Firestone, Mads Buckley, Taylor Swift, Corpse, and 5 Seconds of Summer. I would like to take this opportunity to talk about how much I love Leanna Firestone and that you should all listen to her music. She's great. She's extremely talented. She's a small indie artist. I found her on TikTok and I haven't stopped listening to her since. I found her like last year and she tops all of my most listened to music at the moment. She does have a couple of anime boy songs. Her song Burnt Out is about Darby and her song Sun Eater is about Amajiki. She also writes songs that aren't about anime and they're also really good. Her album came out this year. Just listen to it. It's great. I'll link it below also. I also had a question with the music ones that kind of sounded like you wanted to ask me what K-pop group I listen to. The answer is I don't know any K-pop. If some of y'all want to educate me on a K-pop, I would greatly appreciate it because I feel greatly intimidated and I feel like I can't just jump into it. There's too much to know. I don't know who I'm supposed to listen to. I've listened to some Blackpink, but that's about it. I'm confused. So I got asked, what are your hobbies besides reading fanfic? Good question. I really like art. I started learning to knit, which is fun. I want to also learn how to crochet, and I'm a makeup fiend. My makeup collection is giving like 2016 Beauty Guru, which isn't good. I know it's like a problem. Consumerism is bad. I just can't stop buying it. Now I'm an adult with adult money. I got to get the Beauty Guru setup of my dream, including the IKEA desk with the Alex drawers full of makeup and so many brushes. And this is what happens when you get access to adult money. So for the last of the opinions/favourites questions I had, who would you want to meet most in the Avengers cast? It's Elizabeth Olsen. I'm obsessed with her. I love Wanda. She is, honestly, she's up there with Azuka, one of my favourite characters. I love her. I love her so much. And Elizabeth Olsen is so talented. Also probably Tom Holland or Zendaya. I don't know who I love more, Tom Holland or Zendaya. It's actually difficult. Don't ask me to choose. I love them both equally. But I guess technically MJ isn't an Avenger, so Tom Holland or Elizabeth Olsen. So, our last section, we've got questions about the channel and making podfics. The first one I have is, would you take requests for stuff to read? I absolutely will. I did make a Twitter. It's at @EleanorE_pods. I'll link it below, and you can send me fics on there that you want me to read, and as long as I get a go-ahead from the author, or I mean, if you're the author, then I'll do it straight up, I don't care. I would obviously prefer to do things from fandoms that I actually know. So in that vein, please do comment below, for all of you who've got to this point in the video, other fandoms that you would like me to read fics for, because I'd like to expand my list of fandoms that I read fics for beyond the MCU and My Hero fics. So go ahead and comment. But to answer your question, yes, I will take requests. I got asked, what is your favourite story that you've read? Probably, this is difficult. So probably the I Want to Click a Click to Your Heart, a hyperlink to go inside you. That was one of my first longer fics. I remember it taking me so long. It literally took me like over a month of recording that. Just a little bit, like every day. It took me forever, and I worked so hard on it for so long. So I am still really proud of it, even though in hindsight the sound quality is not as good. Maybe one day I'll re-record it, because I do really love it. I think it's an incredible fic. I'm super proud of All for One's Guide to a Peaceful Retirement and how that's going. We'll see when it's done, if it goes in my favourite fics of all time. But I also really liked doing Sweet Dreams. The story of that is just absolutely beautiful. I love Peter as Tony's long-lost kidnapped son fics. It is my favourite trope, and I will read any fic with that premise. Any fic with that premise, I will read it. I probably already have read it, I'm not gonna lie. On that note, next question is, where do you find your fanfictions? All of my fanfics I found on AO3. Yeah, they're all just fics that I read and really enjoyed and wanted to share because I really loved them. And now they're out there. How long have you been making fanfics? I have been recording these officially 4 months today. Oh wow, that's kind of mad. It's kind of flown by, but also feels like I've been making them forever. Why did you start YouTube? Honestly, here's what happened. I was just listening to a lot of podfics. I discovered podfics. I'd already been a big fan of audiobooks. I really loved them. And then I found out that I could have audiobooks, but just stay with my favourite characters all the time. Sign me up immediately. And I was getting through podfic after podfic after podfic, and I realised I was running out, and how much I wanted there to be more podfics out there. And honestly, I was kind of just recording these so I could listen back to them myself and listen to my favourite fanfics whilst I'm doing stuff, because I like to be listening to something pretty much all the time. It helps a lot with like sensory stuff and being in public spaces to like have someone talking in my ears. And I was gonna just listen them back to myself, and I thought I might as well put them on YouTube because that was an easy way to do it, and that maybe other people would enjoy them too. I genuinely didn't think anybody would be listening to these. I thought maybe like 3 people would, and that all the views would just be me re-listening to them again. But here we are, I guess. So I got a couple of questions about the process of making podfics in these videos, how long they take and what the typical recording sessions look like. So I'm just going to kind of combine all of them together and just explain kind of how it goes down for me. So if I can be really smart, I'll try and insert a picture of what my setup looks like, but essentially I'll have like my tablet on the desk, I have my mic mounted onto a boom arm, and I'll have my phone open recording into the voice notes app attached to like my ring light, just because it's what holds my phone. And I will sit, open up the fic, and I mainly edit as I go to make it easier on myself, and then sometimes go back in to touch up the editing on those. Once that's done, okay, so that takes a while in itself. So a fic that comes out for you guys at about like 10 minutes probably took me like an hour and a half of recording, of going over, saying the lines again and again to get them right. Sometimes it goes a lot quicker than others. The longer the fic, the longer it will take. I mean, obviously, but say I'm doing a 10-minute fic and it takes me like an hour and a half. If I'm doing like a half an hour fic, it usually will take me like 8 hours. It's a lot of time. The longer the session, the more I usually end up messing up again and again in the recordings and the different takes, so it just ends up taking a lot longer. After that point, I'll listen through the audio, clean up any extra bits that weren't quite right, listen to it a few times to make sure like it all sounds good from start to finish, and then I will put together a thumbnail, or the visual that you'll see on screen, and then go into video editing and put those together. Then the video gets exported, and then obviously I go to AO3, post it on there and link it back to the original author, put all the links in the description of the YouTube video, and I post it. All of the stuff post-recording session takes, I'd say, maybe about an hour, depending on what I have to do, but that's roughly about it. The actual recording process is generally pretty chill. I'll just go through it and I will record a section, usually until I can hear myself mess up. Then I will go back and re-listen to that section since the last bit and listen out for anything wrong with it. And if I need to re-record that section, I'll do it as many times until I'm happy with it. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist about it. There are times where I've literally just given up on a recording session that day because I just keep messing up my words. I have a little bit of a lisp, and sometimes that gets very frustrating, and I just like want to smash my head into a wall. So I'll just be like, okay, we're done for tonight. Because I do want to keep it fun. I don't want to be like forcing myself to make fics if I feel stressed out about it. So that's pretty much the whole process. And that's also the final question. So thank you so much for listening. Well, this is like almost 20 minutes. I hope that's not too long for you. I hope you enjoyed, that you got your questions answered. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking and being involved. I've had some really lovely comments and people really encouraging me and making me feel better about making these. I was really nervous when I was first posting them because I think, like most people, I really hate the sound of my own voice, and I've really had to get used to that now, and seeing all of your support has really helped with that. So thank you for listening, thank you for still being here. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, or evening, or afternoon, or nighttime, depending on what time you're listening to this. Bye!